Hello everyone, I am Vagishi Jagat, and today we are going to explore an exciting field called machine learning, along with the Python basics for the data science. This session is designed specially for the beginners, so even if you have no prior experience in coding or AI, you will be able to follow along comfortably. By the end of this lecture, you will have a clear idea understanding how machine learns from the data and how Python is used as a tool to implement these ideas. So before dive into the concept, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how YouTube recommends the video that match your interest most perfectly? How Instagram shows reels that keep you engaged? How Gmail automatically filters spam emails? And these are not the coincidence. Behind all this application, there is a system that is continuously learning from your behavior. And this system is powered by machine learning. So today we are going to understand the intelligence behind this everyday applications. So what is machine learning? Let's understand machine learning, actually what it means. Okay. In traditional programming, we write rules and give them to the computer to follow it. But in machine learning, instead of writing rules, we provide data and computer learns pattern from that data. So machine learning is basically the ability of system to learn from the data and improve its performance without being explicitly programmed. So more data it gets, the better it becomes. So here are some real life applications of machine learning. Machine learning is not something theoretical, it's already a part of our daily life. For example, Gmail use it for filter spam mails, Amazon and Netflix use it to recommend you the series, movies, and the products based on your shopping history and other histories. Face recognition system use it to identify individual. Google Map use it to predict traffic and suggest you the best route. So whether we realize it or not, we are constantly interacting with machine learning system in our daily lives. Machine learning can be broadly divided into three types. First is supervised learning, where model learns from the labeled data. For example, cat and dog. By seeing the data like images, a machine uh, recognize which is a dog and which photo is a cat. Another example is that prediction of house prices based on the past data. And second one is supervised learning, where system tries to find pattern without any labels, such as grouping of customers based on their behavior. Third one, that is reinforcement learning, where the system learns by receiving rewards or penalties, like a game playing AI. So these are the main approaches used in building intelligent systems. So why Python? Now next question is, why do we use Python for machine learning and data science? Okay, so Python is a readable and very beginner friendly language. It allows us to focus more on logic rather than the syntax. It also has a huge ecosystem of libraries like NumPy, Pandas, TensorFlow, and others, which makes us complex tasks much more easier for us. Because of these advantages, Python has become most widely used language in data science and machine learning. So for implementing this all codes and things, we have to use a platform. So we use Google Colab. So now let's talk about the Google Colab, which is very useful tool, especially for the beginners. It's a cloud-based platform where we write and execute all the Python codes directly in the browser, just like a notebook. So that's why for every collab file, we call it a notebook. So biggest advantage, we don't need to install anything in our system. Everything runs online. Even if your laptop is low end, you can still perform powerful computation. It comes with pre-installed libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and TensorFlow, which are commonly used in data science and machine learning. Another important feature is that it provides free GPU and TPU support, which helps in faster computation, especially for the machine learning models. It also follows easy sharing and collaboration, just like Google Documents, Google Docs, and GitHub. Multiple users can work on the same notebook. That's why Google Colab is widely used for the machine learning, Python data analysis, and building machine learning projects. So now I'm going to show you how it looks. So this is a web page of Google Colab. This here you can see the interface of Google Colab on the Windows system. At the top here I have given the file name, which is machinelearning.ipynb, and here I have an option of files where locate in drive, and other options are given, like we can open a new notebook, open the notebook which is already exists in the system, upload a notebook which is in my laptop and computer, and other things like rename the notebook, move to the trash, copy in the GitHub. Another, we have another option like edit, view, insert, runtime, tools, and help option if you need any help in this, which manage the notebook. In the center we have code cell. So this rectangular thing is known as a code cell, where we write the Python code, and each cell is executed independently using run button. And here we also have like this arrow option to move it down or move it up. Here, like if I write here um, hack, Hackslash, and now I want this code to be in like below, so I just click on this option, it moves down. Similarly, if I want this code in the first row, so move up cell button and click this, it will go up. And this is so after each cell you have this option of code and text. So by clicking on this option, here another cell comes in the picture where you can write your code or generate it with the using of AI. And another button that comes is the text, and this text is used to write the things like heading and other things in our notebook, or use for commenting the things, like I can comment here that I am here. So it is just a text, not a code. So this is all the things that you must know about the Google notebook. Since this is running in a browser, it works perfectly on Windows without any installation. Just open it and start coding. So this is the Google Colab thing. So now I'm going to explain the basic concept of Python programming, which includes variables, data types, different data types like string, integer, float, and other things, typecasting, and other list, tuple, loops, conditions, and functions. So first we'll go through that what is the variables. Okay, so variables and the data types. So now variable is used to store data. You can think of it as a container that holds information which can be used later in the program. For example, now I'm going to write a code. So here now I'm going to initiate a variable by the name of A. So in the A I am writing hello. So this is a variable named as A. Now I'm going to make another variable by the name of age and going to store a value 21. So here I have initiated two variables by the name of A. So in memory here where the space named A stores the value hello and another space named age stores the value age 21. Now understand data types. Data types define the type of the value of variable hold. Python mainly has four basic data types. First one is a string. So this A where I have stored the value hello is a string. This is a string. And this age, this variable age stores the integer. So second data type is an integer. Integer is used to store the whole numbers without decimal points, such as like I have written 21, 50, 100, 99 and other things. So this is a integer data type. This is an integer. So the third data type is float, which used for the decimal numbers like 0 0.9, 1.99. So now I'm going to store another value with the name of pi, 3.14. This is a float value. So the fourth data type is boolean, which stores only two values, true or false, and mainly used in the decision making in conditions. So boolean, for boolean I am going to initiate another variable and I'm going to write it as true. So this is a boolean data type object P. Therefore it comes in the blue color. Other than that blue, I can also write it false. This is also a boolean data type variable which is false. So let's talk about some rules for naming variables. A variable name cannot start with a number, it cannot contain spaces, and it cannot use reversed keyword like class or if. However, it can include letters, numbers, and underscores. For example, I'm going to make another variable by the name of marks1 and saving it going to give it the value of 50. But if I give it a name of 1 marks and write the value of like 25, it gives me a error, syntax error. because in the rules we know that um, the name of the variable cannot start with a number. It must be start with any alphabet, and it can be start with underscore. Like if I write like this is the valid case. So the next concept is typecasting. Typecasting means converting one data type into another. For instance, if I have a string which is like 10, so string equals to 10. Okay, so this is a valid case, and I want to use it as a number, so I want to change it into integer. So how can I do this? So just do this thing, right? Wait, int in bracket, write string. So now this string 10 is now converted into another data type, which is now an integer. So till now we have successfully changed our string into integer. So I'm now going to save in this into another variable called y, and going to perform an addition operation on it, like y plus 25. It gives us the value of 35 because the now y is an integer. But if we do it like this, print string plus 25, it gives us the error because we cannot add a string and an integer together. They both are different data types. So that's why it gives us error. So I'm going to remove this piece of code. So it gives us the value of 23 because here y and 25 both are the integer, and other, like here we use int and this bracket, and under inside this bracket we wrote the variable which we have to change the data type, and others are like int this bracket for conversion into integer, and other one is float for conversion into float data type, str, and this brackets this use to convert variable into a string, and last one is bool for the conversion into the boolean data type. So these are the four basic type conversion in Python. So now we can also check the data type of a variable by using type function. So this is the type function. By using this syntax, we can check the data type variable. So I want to check the data type of underscore marks. So I'm going to write here marks. So this is an integer data type. Now let's understand string in more detail. String are very important in Python We can combine string using plus operator, which called concatenation. For example, now I'm going to write something here like print hello plus world. This is a very basic code. So here it joins both string, like it connects the both string together. We can also access individual character of a string using indexing. For example, let me show you that. So now I'm going to initiate another variable called text and Python. So I want to print the first word of our string. So I'm going to write print text 0. So if I want to print the first text of first alphabet of a string, so I have to write the 0, because the indexing of a string starts from the 0, like p is in 0th position, y is in 1th position, and at 2 there is t, then 3 we have h, then further on. So I'm now going to see the output, like you can see here. Now I just want to print text. Let's print the fourth index, which is O. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in fourth position we have O. That's why it prints O. So now we have done some basics of the Python, like variables, data types, type conversion, and a little bit more about the string. So now I'm going to tell you about list, dictionary, and tuples. So let's start with the list. List is a collection of an item stored in a single variable. It is one of the most commonly used data type in Python. Lists are created using square brackets. For example, I write marks. Okay, wait. Marks equals to. So this is a variable named as marks. I give it a name like marks2 because I think there is marks1. This is a list where I am going to save values like 90, 89, 54, 99. List can store different data types such as integer, string, and even other lists. One important feature of the list is that they are mutable, which means it can change their values after creation. For example, we can modify the element and add new element using append function. So this is our list. Now I just want to append something in it. So let's write a function like marks to dot append. So I want to write value like 19. Okay, and I just want to remove the value of 54. So I can also remove the value 54. Marks to dot remove 54. So let's now print the marks to. So now this is the new list. Like here we have the value 90, 89, 99 and 98. So it removes the value 54 and append the value of 98 in the list. And list also supports indexing where the first element starts at the index 0, and this allows us to access and update the specific element easily. Now let us move to tuples. Tuple is also a collection of items similar to the list, but with one major difference. Tuples are immutable, which means once they are created, their values cannot be changed. Tuples are written using parentheses. For example, um, student roll equals to 1, 2, 3, 15. Okay, so this is an example of tuple. Once the tuple is created, we cannot modify its element. Tuples are generally used when we want to ensure that data remains constant through the program, like list, tuple, or also support indexing and can store multiple data types. So now I'm going to show you example that it is immutable and it also supports the indexing. So this is a tuple. If I want to print a roll number, roll dot, like in fourth position. So it's giving me an error because 0, 1, 2, 3. It's giving me error because the length of this tuple is 4. So the first index is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So there is nothing in fourth position. So let me write it 1. Now it prints the value 2. If I want to append a value, let's see what it gives us. Student roll dot append 23. Now it gives us the error. If I want to change the value of a certain index, let's see what it gives us. Let's if I want to change that into 50, it also gives us error. Here type error is object doesn't support item assignment. So here we have learned about tuples, and here we have learned about lists. So we can't change the tuple. Now let us understand about dictionary. A dictionary is a collection of key value pairs. It is used to store data in a structured way. Um, they are written using curly braces. For example, student. Now I'm making a dictionary by the name of student equals to. We are going to write this thing under the curly braces. This is a name. Let's give us a name, Ria, and 18. Let's give a branch. Electrical. So there's a girl named Ria. Her age is 18 and her branch is electrical. So here dictionaries are mutable. They must have a unique key of every value. Dictionaries are very useful when we want to represent real world data. We can access values using their keys. So here the name, age and branch is a key, and the value of that particular key is Ria. Like the key name has a value Ria, age has a value 18, branch has a value electrical. Let's also put this under. We can access the value with the help of their keys. Dictionary are also mutable. We can also update, add or delete the key values easily. Let me show you an example of this. Like if I want to update the value student age, I want to update this value to 20. I'm updating this value. Then if I want to add something in it, so I would write it like this: student, I want to add the college equals to NITP. I have add the value. Now I want to print the dictionary. Print student. So here you can see name Ria, age 20, branch electrical, college NITP. Here we can also remove any element from this from using the pop function, like student dot pop age. So let's print student again. So here we can see the difference. In first we also have that branch like age key and their value, but in second time it doesn't have the age. So by using pop function we can remove the values from the dictionary. So here we have learned about the dictionary. Dictionaries. Now let us compare all three. Lists are ordered mutable collection. Tuple are ordered but immutable. And lists are unordered collection of key and their value pairs. List and tuple are use indexing access elements, while dictionary use keys. In conclusion, list, tuple and dictionary are essential for sorting managing data in Python. Lists are flexible and commonly used, but tuple provide data safety by preventing changes and mutation in it. And dictionaries help in organizing data using key and their values. Understanding this concept is very important for writing efficient Python programs.
So now we are going to learn two important concepts in Python: conditions and loops. These two are building blocks that help us how program behaves. If you have ever wondered how a program makes decisions or repeat tasks automatically, this is exactly what we're going to understand. So first we learn about conditions. Conditions allow us to program to make decisions. Just like in real life, if it's rain, you take an umbrella. If you are hungry, you will going to eat food. Similarly, in programming, we use if statements to make decisions. Let me show you an example. If x equals to 10, then if x is greater than 5, then print x is greater than 5. Okay, so here this program checks if x is greater than 5. If condition is true, it prints the message. So let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, here x is greater than 5, therefore it prints x is greater than 5. If I take x equals to, let's say 2, let's see what it's going to show us. X is less than 5. For another example, let's consider marks equals to 75, and if marks is less than equals to 40, it will print marks, else print fail. Oops, showing me syntax error. So here marks is above 40, it's 75. That's why it prints pass. This is how real decisions are made in programs. So now next is loop. So let's talk about loop. Loop are used when we want to repeat a task multiple times. Imagine you want to print numbers from 1 to 10. Instead of writing print 10 times, we use a loop for this to make our task easier. So for example, this is the syntax of loop.
So now I'm going to show you another example of the loop. Now this time I'm going to show you this according to the roll number of the student. So let's write roll number equals to, here I'm going to write make a list of the roll number which I want to print. 10, 13, 38, 4, 3 and 1. Now I'm going to initiate a for loop here. For n m in roll number, and in next line I want to print all the roll number present in the list. Now print inside parenthesis I'm gonna write m. So here 10, 13, 38, 4, 3 and 1 are print in a sequence. So this is very useful when we are working with the data sets. So now let's combine condition and loops together. So this will now here, from here the real programming begins. So for this now I'm going to show you an example like how to find the even numbers. So for this, first we will start a loop, let's say for range 10, and in second line we're going to use a if condition, a condition statement for where the remainder of number should be 0. If it's 0, we're going to print that number because it's a even number. So this loop checks each number and print it only if it's even. So here we are using a loop which go through the numbers and a condition statement to filter the data. So this is how the data processing works in the real machine learning. Okay, so here you can see this, how this happened. So in real world application, conditions are used for the decision making and loops are used to process large amount of data. For example, filtering spam emails, analyzing user data and processing data sets. So these are the concepts that are extremely important for you all in machine learning. So let's quickly summarize this all. Conditions will help us to make decisions. Loops will repeat the task very efficiently. Together, they allow us to build a powerful program that can process data automatically. So, in further next videos, you all will move forward and start using this concept in real data science problems, and you're going to see how we will going to use this in data modeling and processing, and how we're going to model the data and use this for the prediction of things. So let's see our next topic, which is functions. So we are going to now learn the most powerful concept in the programming, which is function. Have you ever felt that writing the same code again and again is so boring or inefficient? Now function are the solution for this. So by the end of this video you're going to understand like what is function, why we will use them, how to create them and use them, and how we are going to use this in real life example like machine learning applications. Okay, so first question is, what is function? A function is a reusable block of code that perform a specific task. Instead of writing the same code multiple times, we define it once and reuse it whenever we need it. So think like this, function is like a machine, and when you give the input, this process it and gives us the output. For example, a coffee machine. For input we give up like beans, coffee, and it give us the output. Now I'm going to show you, for example of a function, syntax here. For input we give up like beans, coffee, and it give us the output. Now I'm going to show you, for example of a function, syntax here. So let's see. So I'm going to create a function def greet with the parenthesis, and I'm going to print hello in this function. Hello, welcome to this video. So here we use the function, here we use the def, which defines the function. Greet is the name of the function, and parenthesis used here is to pass the input which we use further, and the code inside the function is called the function body. So let's run this code. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so it shows nothing. Okay, to run this code, first we need to call this function. Function will only work when we call it. So write the name of the function, then make a parenthesis. That's how you call a function. Now it shows the output. Now function has become more powerful when we pass the input or parameter in it, which is also known as argument. Now I'm going to show you an example using a passing parameters in it. So def greet name. Now I'm going to pass a parameter name in it. And I'm going to print hello, then name, how are you doing all? How are you doing? Name, how are you? It's giving me error. There's a syntax error. Now let's run it again. Okay, now I'm going to call this function by with the parameter. Let's say I'm writing my name. If I write like this, it's give me a error because I need to pass a string inside the function. Okay, so now I'm going to call this function again with a string. So this time I'm writing Ria. So it says, hello Ria, how are you? So here by the default name is a string. So I need to write this in the commas. So here the name is the parameter and the value is passed as an argument in it. Sometimes we want a function to return a result instead of printing it. So for this we are going to use return keyword. So this is an example of this. Let's see. I'm going to add two numbers here by making a add function by returning x plus y in it. This function basically adds two number and return the result. So let's call this function. First we need to pass the argument in it. Let's pass a value 5 or 9. Then I want to print the value of result. Let's see. It gives the output as 14 because 5 plus 9 is equals to 14. So that's how we pass the parameters inside a function. Now, default parameters. We can also give default parameters to it. If we doesn't given and we are not giving any values to pass inside a function, it will show us the default parameter which is present in that function like this. Here I am going to put the value as user of user. Then I'm going to print hello in the next line. The function def. Remember the spacing between this name and here I'm going to give this a default, like I have written here, print hello comma name. Then I'm going to see the output, then it's giving me error because the print and the definition, that def is on the same line. It's not like this. I have to give a space before the print. Now I'm going to solve this error. So without giving a parameter, let's see what it prints. It prints just hello user. Now let's see if I give it a parameter. Let's say I'm going to write my name. So first, if I didn't give it any type of parameter or value, it prints the default thing which is user, and if I give it a parameter, then it will print this. If no value is given, it uses the default one. Okay, so here we can also return multiple values. So let me show you this also. Def operations. And here I am passing two values, a comma b. For this, let's return a plus b. Then I can multiply it also, and a minus b. So here we have made the function comma. So let's say see what is going to print dot sub1. So a function can return multiple value at once. Here we have passed the value a and b as 10 and 5, and here we written three operations, like first the addition one, then the multiplication, then after that, okay, what happened? Then after that we have subtracted this. A plus B. Yeah. Now let's combine everything that we have learned till now. So now I'm going to show you how we can um, generate a function for the even numbers. Okay. Then even for the even numbers, def find even number. Here I'm going to pass a value num. Now I'm going to use a loop here where n is in num, and if n modulus 2 equals 0, it will print n. So here we have made the function. Let's see if it works or not. Now I'm going to call this function here, find even, passing some values here. So these are the numbers I'm going to pass. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so this function takes a list here, which start from 23 and ends at 85. You can see here 23, 52, 44, 14, 51, 3, 38, and 85. These are the list of a number. Uses loop for the in second line for n in the num, and this is the num list here, that this loop iterates. Then there is a condition, if n modulo 2 is equals 0, if its remainder is 0, then it's going to print that number. And this is how the real data processing world works in real life. So why functions are important? Functions are important because they reduce the code repetition. Here you can see this. It makes code more organized and improve the readability for the user, and helps in debugging too. um, it makes large data, like large programs, manageable and easy to use. In machine learning, we use functions to process data, train models, or calculate the results of this. So in real world applications, a function can pre-process the data, and another function can also train the model, and another function can predict it. So functions help us to break the complex problems into smaller parts. So let's quickly summarize functions too. um, they are reusable block of code. They can take input and return output. They help us to make program efficient and organized. Mastering function is a big step towards to becoming a good programmer and data scientist too. So we'll apply functions in real life data science problems in the next video. So let's see our next topic. So it's the essential libraries for the machine learning. So what are the libraries here? Libraries are pre-written codes. They help us to solve problem faster, where we no need to write everything from the scratch. Basically, some codes are already written in this file, the libraries like files. There are some important libraries here. I have written the name of this, like NumPy. We use NumPy for the numbers and the calculation. It works with the arrays. They are very fast and efficient in the work. Pandas, We use pandas for the handling data. It works like a table, like rows and in column. It helps in cleaning and analyzing data. Then third one is Seaborn and Matplotlib. We use this for the making graphs, charts, and for the visualization of the data. Makes data easy to understand and visualize and readable for us. Then we also use scikit-learn. We use this for machine learning algorithms. It helps us to predict and classify the models. Then for the deep learning, we use TensorFlow or PyTorch. It's very useful in the deep learning. It helps in build advanced AI models. So these are the libraries and tools that help us to build machine learning applications efficiently. For now, just understand their purpose. In the next session, you will learn each of these libraries in detail and start building them practically. Okay, now let's understand how machine learning actually works step by step. The process starts with the data collection. First, we gather data from different sources. This data can be anything, it's number, images, text, document, file, user activities, or anything. The quantity of data is very important because better data lead us to better result. Quantity and quality both matter in this. Then next one is um, model training. In this step, we give the data to the machine learning algorithm, and this model analyzes the data and learns pattern from it. This is the most important step where system become intelligent. Finally, we have the last stage, which is prediction. Once the model is trained, it can make prediction on the new data. For example, it can predict weather, or even like if the mail is spam or not, recommend a product to you. So in simple term, workflow is this, like data comes in the model, then model learns, and then it gives us the prediction. So this is the end of the today's video. I'll give you some exercise also. So your first exercise question is to create a numpy array and calculate its mean. Second one is to write a for loop and calculate the sum of list and define a function that adds the two vector together. So this is the questions for you. Please try this, and after this, if you are comfortable with this, try the challenge problem to create all the print all the even numbers of from the list and write if this number is odd or this is even for each number. So, all right, everyone, let's make a moment to reflect on what we have covered today. We started by understanding what is machine learning, how it is already a part of our daily lives. Then we explored some basic of Pythons, including variables, data type, lists, dictionary tuple, loops, conditions, and functions. We also looked at some important tools, libraries, platforms such as Google Colab, and understood the basic workflow of machine learning. So today is all about building a strong foundation for the data science. And remember, in data science, a strong foundation is the key to everything. So our journey into data science has just begun, and this is just the first step of much bigger and exciting path ahead. In next session, we are going to move one step deeper into practical learning. We'll start working with NumPy, Matplotlib, and other libraries, which is the most important libraries for us in numerical computing and data visualization. You will learn how to work with arrays, perform fast calculation, and handle data efficiently. Now we'll also begin exploring basic data processing techniques which are essential before building any machine learning model. So in next class, things will become more hand-on and interesting. Thank you everyone for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this session and I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.